Thank you. After the bridge on the left, we will get a very quick full glimpse at a brilliant church tower called Our Saviour's Church Tower. So if you can stay down, sir, because you're tall, stay down, sir. So if you want a photo of it, get a camera ready now for just after the bridge. It is going to be really quick, alright? But get ready, we're going under the bridge first. Get a camera ready on the left for afterwards. If you want a photo of Our Saviour's Church Tower, hurry up. Okay, Eagle in the front, you ready to shoot? Solo now. And if you're not fast enough with your camera, you will instead get a photo of the most photographed electricity pole in all of Denmark, I think. Oh. Well done. Now we have another bridge coming up. This one is the second lowest one on the whole tour, so please go down and then take a seat, please, everybody. Also the children, go down, please, take a seat. Go down, take a seat. Thank you. So bumps and everything down, everything in, please. Very low bridge coming up now. We are still in the quiet zone, so I'm not allowed to use this microphone for much. Instead, after the bridge, I'm gonna walk down through the boat. And then if anyone has a question for Nina, about the tour so far perhaps, or just about Copenhagen or Denmark in general, or personal questions, or maybe you have a filthy rich older brother you'd like to set me up with a trust fund, anything at all, then don't be shy, just put your hands up when I come down and I'll come and listen to you, alright?
Copenhagen, Denmark. Hello, bloody. Very nice. We're here in Denmark, Copenhagen. Having
Any
fun.
Questions?
It's very cold. Oh my God. Denmark. Yes, Denmark.
We have another bridge coming up soon, so sit down please everybody. This bridge is pretty cool located because it's made by an artist called Floraboi Palaboi. And he tried to make this in a way where instead of just passing straight from A to B over the bridge, you're kind of invited to slow down so you can enjoy the view a little bit and take a breath and wave at our boat, of course. Wave at our boat, madam in the pink. Very good. Thank you very much. Before moving on. And it's working worth every penny, huh? This is the Circle Bridge. It's called the Circle Bridge because it's made out of circles. Groundbreaking. Hello, sir. Very good. In front of us now, we have the Black Diamond. And the Black Diamond is not Darth Vader's house. You think so? This is actually the newest addition to the Royal Danish Library. And,
Yeah, it's not like it.
So it's a public library. And the Black Diamond on our left-hand side is covered in a mix of black granite and glass. And then the facade of the building also tilts 7 degrees towards the water. And that basically means if you're here at the right time of day, with the right kind of sunshine at the same time, then the reflection of the water shimmers back into this building and makes the building. And that's why it has its name, the Black Diamond. Because of Rihanna, of course. Right.
I think it's negative too.
And the architects behind the Black Diamond are from my hometown, which is called Aarhus. The studio is called Smithamande. Ahead of us, coming up soon, there's also like a very modern, chunky glass building coming up. It's ahead of us at the moment. But this building coming up is blocks. And inside of blocks, among many other things, we have the Danish Architecture Center. But you want to hear something quite tragic about the Danish Architecture Center? Yes, you do. So the architects who designed the building for the Danish Architecture Center are from the Netherlands. Dutch architects have made the Danish Architecture Center. It's a studio called Omar. If you're into architecture, you might know the head architect. He's quite famous. He's called Rem Koolhaas. We also have a bridge coming up soon, so please take a seat, everybody. Sit down. Sit down, please. Sit down. Sayez-vous, s'il vous plaît? S'il y a des people for water, sit down. Right now. Thank you. Inside of blocks, on the left, you can also find a gym and a playground and open desk offices. There's also a creative hub for sustainable startups and apartments and a cafe. They basically made blocks here on the left because this area of Copenhagen was like a little bit dead at the time. So stay down, be down. Stay down please, everybody, while we go to the bridges. They basically made blocks because this area of Copenhagen was a little bit dead. So to get more life to this area on the left, they made blocks full of opportunities. And it's working, so that's nice. But it would be nice, if you ask me, if it was a Danish architect who made the Danish Architecture Center. The next bridge is coming up as well already, so take a seat please, everybody. Sit down please. Thank you. Just after this bridge, then on the right, there's like an old red brick building. This red brick building on our right is very important because this is King Christian IV's brew house. And maybe it doesn't sound that important to you to have a brew house in a city. But back in the Renaissance, we had no sewage system in Copenhagen. So not only did the water here taste really disgusting, it was also really toxic to drink. And instead, for many decades, Copenhagen stayed hydrated, mostly by drinking beer. And if you worked for the public sector at the time, or if you were a soldier in the Renaissance, literally fighting for our country, right? Then you were given 10 liters of beer a day. That's 2.2 gallons of beer or 20 pints a day. That was the official allowance from the king to provide for you and your family members. Also for children. Good times. Important to mention though, the beer had a much lower alcohol content back then, so we didn't have like drunk toddlers just running around the streets there. It's kind of funny though, because we did actually lose most of the wars we went into in those same decades. So perhaps there is like a slight connection between how many beers we had and how many wars we lost. And there's a bridge coming up, so sit down. Thank you. And the next bridge is called the Marble Bridge, but it's not actually made out of marble. We couldn't afford that at the time. So we've made it out of limestone and then just painted it to look like marble. No one's going to know anyway. And the Marble Bridge and also these walls on our right, these are actually the last remaining elements we have of the original Christian school castle. So that has burned down twice since it was first built. And behind the walls on the right, we also, there's a bridge coming up. Sit down please in the back. Thank you. Sit down. Behind the walls on our right, we also have the royal stables. And in the royal stables, we also have 20 royal horses. And guess what, folks? There's another bridge coming up! Surprise! The next one is quite special. Because the next one is the most narrow bridge on the tour. That means, of course, it's important to take a proper seat under this one. Take a proper seat. It's also critically important that you keep everything you can think of. Sit down, please. Proper seat. Fully inside the sides of the boat while we sail under the stone bridge, okay? Arms, legs, hands, tongues, selfie sticks, elbows, cameras, knees, heads, shoulders, children, whatever you can think of, keep it fully in the boat now, okay? Very tight squeeze coming up. And then once we get under the stone bridge, I hope you'll be able to appreciate some of the ancient cave paintings that run along the inside of the stone bridge. My favorite one, the favorite cave painting is coming up halfway through in the middle, not the first one up, but the second one. Do you see it? Second one at the top in the middle?
It's okay.
Yeah, beautiful. I actually did some research on that one, and apparently it's some sort of old fertility symbol.
Yes.
The worst of the storm is yet to come because Captain Jens actually needs to make a really sharp turn to get the back of the boat out the bridge before we crash into the wall just in front of us. If you're in the back, please be careful, mind your head and stay seated. There's a turn coming up. This is, of course, the true test of any good captain. Thankfully, though, not only is Jens very handsome, he is also a very good boat driver. So I think with a bit of luck and all of Jens' expertise, we will now make the full turn with everyone surviving and a complete boat fully intact. We're still turning a little bit, though. Anything could still happen, as you can see. Will he? He's fully gonna do it, folks! Will you please give it up for Captain Jens! Hero of the hour! Woman, just a pretty face.
Hi.
Up ahead of us on the right,
What do you wanna?
there's like a beautiful yellow building coming up soon. The yellow building coming up on the right is Thorvaldson's Museum. And Bertel Thorvaldsson is the most famous sculptor we ever had in this country. He did a whole bunch of work all around Southern Europe. That's also why he went to school. He actually even did some commission work for the Pope at the time, Pope Pius VII. And then when Thorvaldsson was getting old, he wanted to move back to his hometown of Copenhagen. And then he also wanted to donate his full body of work to our city. That was really nice of him. It did also mean we were kind of pressured into making some sort of big museum that actually has room for all his stuff inside, right? This on the right hand side now, coming up, is the result. The first museum in Copenhagen. Thorvaldsson's Museum on the right. And there's a little bit more to the story actually, because Thorvaldsson himself, madam, can you say behind the yellow light please? Thank you. Thorvaldsson himself, the sculptor, is also buried in the middle of this building in the yard. So that is Thorvaldsson's Museum on the right. It's also Thorvaldsson's Mausoleum. And ahead of us, in the distance on the left. First, we will sail past a metro elevator. After the elevator, on the left, we will see a statue of a man on a horse, a green one. And that man is Bishop Absalon. And Bishop Absalon on the horse is widely acknowledged to be the founder of Copenhagen back in 1167, so around 900 years ago. There's all more bricks coming up though, so take a seat please everyone. Sit down please. Sit down please. Sit down please. Sit down please. Oh, that's better. Something that's quite interesting though is that not that long ago, when we were digging underground to extend the metro system, we then discovered there's actually been people in Copenhagen ever since the Stone Ages, so around 14,000 years instead of just 900. So even though that guy on the horse, Bishop Absalon, takes all the credit, it could actually just be Fred Flintstone who founded the city. Nobody really knows anymore. Maybe he was the original Frederick of Denmark. On our right, we now have coming up the latest version of Christiansborg Castle. As I mentioned earlier, it's burned down twice, right? So this is the newest version we can see here. And there are actually elements of 5 different castles on the site where Christiansborg now is. The oldest element is the one that Bishop Absalon on the horse made when he first came to town 900 years ago. And you can still see the remains of that castle in the basement of Christiansborg. For a long time, this building on the right was used as a royal castle, but then in 1850, we got democracy! No one's supporting. Okay, then this building became the new home for the parliament, the government, the Supreme Court, and the Prime Minister's office, which it still is today. This is basically the center of power in Denmark on our right. We have another bridge coming up as well, so take a seat please. Sit down everybody.
Sit down, Andre.
Sit down everybody. Yes, very good. Thank you. And then after this bridge, then on the left, there's like a weird looking church. And the church coming up on the left is weird looking because it wasn't a church to begin with. This was actually an anchor smithy where they made anchors for ships. But then King Christian IV, that Renaissance king, turned this into a naval church instead. And this church on the left is also where our former queen, Queen Margaret II, got married back in 1967 to Henry. Or Henri, actually. He's French. He was French. He's dead. On the right, there's a big white tent. And under the big white tent is where we are rebuilding our beloved stock exchange. This might ring a bell with some of you because it actually made international headlines. So last year, on April 16th, on the former Queen's birthday, the stock exchange building from the Renaissance caught fire and burned down. So now they're trying to rebuild it under the tent on the right. We also have a bridge coming up, so sit down please, everybody.
Grabe yung kanina, ang sikip, no? Yung kanina ba? Ang sikip ng bridge. Buti nga nakalusot.
Ahead of us, 2 different things are coming up now. Ahead of us on the right coming up is kayak bar. And you can get hammered at kayak bar, but you can also rent a kayak at kayak bar. Coming up on the right. And then on the left coming up, there's a slightly unsexy looking building. It's usually much more sexy. This on the left is the National Bank of Denmark, and it's designed by a very famous Danish architect called Anne Jacobs, who's also famous for his furniture. At the moment it's not looking super swag, and that's because they're in the middle of renovating right now. National Bank on the left, on the right. In front of us, a bridge. Sit down please, everybody.
Refrigerator.
Huh?
Refrigerator.
Dili.
Ano sa man?
Fridge.
A fridge. Fridge. Lahi po no. Ang fridge part sa refrigerator.
And the next building on my like you to look at is coming up on our right. At the moment, though, it's actually still ahead of us. It's the white building coming up on the right-hand side. I'm trying to point it out now for you people in this audience at the boat. The white one with the old ship in front of it, this one here. This is an old warehouse, and the king who commissioned this warehouse basically said, the most important thing about this warehouse is that my view of it from where I live in Christiansborg Castle, behind us, has to look stunning. He didn't care much about the back of the building though, because he couldn't see that from where he lived in the castle behind
Maganda
us.
pag summer, no?
So
Kitang-kita
first
ang
enjoy
kulay.
the beautiful front
Matingkad
side of
talaga
that
ba?
building, okay? Wow, it's amazing, right? It's got a great paint job on those doors, arched doors, lots of windows, detail, symmetry. And then notice a little difference when you see the back of the building afterwards, okay? Coming up now on the right-hand side. Look at that. Looks like a person. Doesn't matter though, the king can see it. Okay, who knows?
Kumananak, abot na.
And then soon on our left, coming up close to the water, there is a long green mid-century building coming up on the left. And that green building is the old customs office. Later it also became the ferry terminal for a lot of the ferry traffic we had between Denmark and Sweden. But then we got a bridge to Sweden, and then all the ferry traffic stopped at the terminal overhead. Since then, instead, this building on the left, the green one, has been in use as a nightclub and as a restaurant. It's also been a jazz club at one point. At the moment, though, this on the left is a private members club for creatives. And if you're from either the UK or the US, you've heard of something called Soho House, sweetie darling. That is Soho House in Copenhagen, of course. In front of us, in the distance, there's a bridge. But this bridge is the only one on the tour where you most definitely do not need to sit down. So stand up, everybody, and have a little dance now. Yay! This is the Inner Harbour Bridge. And the Inner Harbour Bridge has a nickname. We call this one the Kissing Bridge. And that's because of the way it's engineered. So instead of the two sides flipping up and down when big boats need to pass through, they slide away from each other and back together again. And then when they slide back together, they slide into a kiss in the
Kita mo?
middle. Yeah. And if you're here with your significant other,
Tingnan mo yan.
maybe you should have a little kiss when we sail over the kissing bridge. You've got like roughly 3 seconds now to get consent and make an agreement that it's happening. Potential kisses, you ready? I'll count on to 3 soon, and I want to see kisses. 3, 2, 1. Anyone kissing? I got a kiss in the back already, so yeah.
Diyan tayo maya.
Anything happening inside the boat? I hope so.
Abot na.
Any more actually in the back as well? Good.
Abot na nak.
The Inner Harbour Bridge or Kissing Bridge is only for bikes and pedestrians. We have quite a few of those in Copenhagen, and it's because we're trying to be a very sustainable capital, of course. It's also because we're trying pretty hard to be the best bike city
Diyan lang
in
yan,
the
diretso.
world. But there's a teeny tiny problem. And that teeny tiny
Ito yung ano,
problem
video ka dyan mamaya.
is this country called the Netherlands.
Nakita mo yung kulay-kulay na mga
Because it
post
turns
ng
out
mga ano.
Dutch people are surprisingly
Ganyan.
good at making bike cities. So we're still in third place after both Amsterdam and Utrecht as well. 2 Dutch cities, the last time we checked, were in the league. But one day we shall rightfully claim our title as the world's best bike city and gain full world domination. Exactly. Today's just not that day though, so stay tuned. I told you were very much an African under the previous bridge.
Ayun tayo, yung picture na lang.
Was under the Inner Harbour Bridge. Now we have another bridge coming up, and you are familiar with this one. We've covered it before. It's the first bridge we went under, and that is still the lowest one on the tour. So now it's time to show Nina everything you've learned by sticking to the rules the best you possibly can, please. Okay? Everybody take a seat. Everybody keep everything down and everything in. The lowest bridge on the tour is coming up now. All right?
Gutom na?
Walking good, folks. Okay? Stay with us. That was fine. Thank you. after, okay?
So,
Last
namin
bridge.
punta ito apat. Pag summer
It's
talaga.
the final.
Pag summer talaga, hindi kaya ng lamig. Lalo na si nanay na. Chay. Dito ka tatayo.
Oh, very
Dito
good
ka
job,
tatayo.
everybody. I have one last thing I'd like to try and point out for you lot, but it's actually an easy one to miss because it's the most narrow building in Copenhagen. No, not in Copenhagen, in Nyhavn, in this area, right? And we call the most narrow building in Nyhavn the pencil house, and that's because it's also pencil shaped, kind of. And it's coming up on the left. It's still ahead of us. And the pencil house is kind of sandwiched in between two other white buildings. Maybe you want to start looking for the pencil house. Otherwise, I'll point quite soon. Very good.
Pencil house.
Okay, I'll give you another big fat clue now. I'm going to point straight at it. Left hand side, pencil house.
Pencil house.
And there is actually a family living in the pencil house. I don't understand how. There must be so many stairs in there and so little floor space, but they make it work, so good for them. And now we are making our way to the house. And I would actually like all of you to take a seat and then stay in your seats while we dock the boat. Okay, so everybody take a seat. Everybody take a seat and stay seated. And then I'll tell you when it's safe to stand up and get off the boat. I need to moor the boat with Jens and put the rope to the such. In the meantime, gather your parcels.